This will sound like the biggest cliche of all time, coming from the mouth of a high school student, but all the same, as I'm sure you guys can attest to also, we get too much homework, like way too much, right?
Yeah.
Most people, educators included, believe that homework is solely beneficial to students, and homework is beneficial, but only when applied in moderation. The moderation, according to developmental psychologists, should be in ratio to the age of the student. As it is right now, though, students are getting burned out before they even get to college, according to a New York University study on the subject of homework just a few years ago. Even if the students are not college-bound, the massive amounts of homework can have an enormous effect on students' social and emotional health. I do want to make it clear, I'm not advocating for no homework. I'm advocating for a bearable workload for the students. There are a few solutions to problems that can help achieve this bearable workload. Okay, come on. There we go. In the same Stanford study, about 2 years ago, happened at the same time as the New York University study, they found that 70% of students said that they were always stressed out over schoolwork, and 56% of students claim that homework is their primary stressor. This extreme amount of stress is leading to sleep deprivation, migraines, exhaustion, weight loss, and chronic stomach problems in a large number of high school students. And according to the New York University study, more than 2/3 of the students admit to using alcohol and drugs to cope with the stress of homework. And this is taken from a study of 11 private high schools in New York City. 2/3 of private high school students, just think about that. Students are portrayed in popular culture as having nothing but free time. As I'm sure you guys can attest, that is completely false, right? High school students average slightly more than 3 hours of homework a night, according to the Stanford study. I'd like to say that this says 3 hours each night, including weekends. The survey that you guys filled out says much the same, between 2 and 3 hours. And assuming a student is not engaged in any extracurricular activities, most students will not even get finished with their homework then until 7 o'clock at night. The same survey you filled out said that all of you are engaged in at least one extracurricular activity. That could mean jobs, church, clubs, organizations, or school sports. And most students across the nation are engaged in at least one of these activities. This means that they are having to make concessions in either their academics or social life to make the homework quota. And many feel obligated to complete their homework before engaging in leisurely activities. The first solution seems kind of stupid, but it really would help, and that is making the homework load more pertinent to what students are going to use in the real world. As it is right now, according to the Stanford study, much of the work is seen as busy work in which they do not learn anything, and the assignment is meant to just take up time, and the assignments are pointless and mindless. When are you ever going to have to do 50 vocabulary words a night for your job, or figure out how many apples Jenny had? You won't. Just make the homework something the students will use in the real world. It'll take out a lot of the confusion and frustration that students feel. Come on. Most education specialists recommend 10 minutes of homework for each grade the student is in. So that means for first grade, you'd have 10 minutes of homework per night. For 7th grade, 70 minutes. And for your senior year of high school, that'd be 2 hours of homework. But as we know from the Stanford study, students average more than double that each week. At that point, it's becoming counterproductive. The students are not learning from the homework anymore, and they are just doing the work to get a grade, which is not helping prepare them for the real world. Probably the most intensive homework reform that you could do is called the flipped classroom. I personally have taken several flipped classroom classes, and they have been hugely beneficial to my learning. In a flipped classroom, what you do is you will watch the lectures at home and then come to school and actually do the homework. According to the nonprofit EDUCAUSE Foundation, which researches and implements new ways of teaching, introducing a flipped classroom can mean additional work and may require new skills for the instructor, but it moves learning away from merely covering the material to working towards a mastery of it. It works best in math-centered classes like calculus or chemistry, and is actually first implemented in a New York City chemistry class at the high school level. It does not work as well in English or history classes though, because just how you learn from it. It is hard to lecture on English then come to school and do the homework on it. When a flipped classroom is most effective, I'm sure all of you have come home with homework that your parents can't help you with, right?
Yes.
But here you can come to school where the teacher knows how to do it and you learned at home how to do it theoretically. If you're having trouble though, the teacher will be there to help you. And it will reduce so much of the stress because you don't have to worry about getting these 50 calculus problems done by tomorrow. Instead of crying at home, you can come to school and the teacher can help you work through it. And also it helps students actually learn the material. Most students claim that they feel like they've developed a better understanding of the material in flipped classroom-based classes. What you can do to help solve the homework dilemma. First, just start by talking to your teacher. Remember, for each assignment that they give you, it's an assignment they have to grade also. So by introducing the flipped classroom or reducing their homework load, that is less work for them and less work for you, in which you both might be gaining something. If that doesn't work, you can always talk to your school board. Here in Sand Springs, the school board meets on the first Monday of each month. You can ask to be put on the agenda, and there you can petition the school board for implementing a new homework policy. They will have the final say-so, so if you can't convince them, I'm sorry. And we're excited, but you don't need to know that. Does anyone have any questions? Yes?
So the flipped classroom, since you've had experience with it, do you feel like it's easier compared to like a regular classroom?
I would say that it is easier to learn the material. It does not make the material itself easier, but I've learned from it better personally.
Okay.
Any others?